Hello friends, in the present video we will start a new chapter called Subsurface Investigation. Subsurface Investigation. Coming to the GATE exam point of view, from this chapter mostly we may get the 1 mark question, mostly, and that can be either theoretical question or can be numerical question. So whatever may be the type, either it may be theoretical, numerical, if you understand some terms, then we can easily score this 1 mark without much difficulty. And also, like other chapters, in this we don't have any so many formulas that we will remember. We have very like 3 or 4 formulas. If you can remember them, that is okay. And also, we have to remember some technical terms in this chapter. Okay, based on those technical terms only in the exam, we will get the 1 mark question. Okay. Now, in this chapter, we will see why the soil exploration is to be done, and also we will see how to find the depth of exploration, and also we will see how to find and how many methods we can explore the soil to investigate. So while exploring, which type of samplers we have to use. After exploring the soil sample, those can be used which type of property. We are having so many engineering properties, right, that we have seen in the soil mechanics. So those properties can be used from which type of samplers. So all these types we will study in this chapter. First of all, tell me why we have to investigate the soil properties. Subsurface means we are talking about the soil beneath the ground surface. So what is meant by investigation? I mean, investigation is nothing but what is the type of the soil, what are the properties of the soil. Like we have to study about those terms like where is your water table in the soil, groundwater. So all those properties we have to study about it. So the question first will arise is that why should I study them? Why should I waste money on investigating the property? Isn't it? Why can't I construct a building generally on the soil? After designing the structure, why can't I construct it easily? So we'll have so many types of questions, isn't it? But do you think without studying the property of the soil, can we build a building or can we build any structure? Okay, if it is of normal, our residential building like up to G+1 or G, only ground floor. In most of the cases in villages, they won't do any soil investigation. Why? Because if there is a mandal, there will be some limit. Like we have to design up to 2 floors or 3 floors. Why? Because they have already seen the village and they have collected the soil samples. Based on that, they will tell you, okay, design up to 3 floors only, design up to 2 floors only. So if you have that limit, no need to check the soils again, soil properties again. Why? Because the government itself has already and has given you the some limits. Suppose if you want to design very big engineering projects, very big engineering projects or very big engineering structures, like if you want to construct some shopping malls or large floor buildings like high tall rise buildings like G+10, G+15, G+20, like, so if you want to design any tall buildings or if you want to design any very important structures like nuclear buildings, so if you want to construct very important or big engineering structures, it is mandatory that you have to study about the properties of the soil, right? Why we have to study it? If you don't study it properly, even though your design is very much strong or very much good, if your soil is not capable enough to withstand the load acting on the structure, then what will happen? Your entire structure will collapse. So that will also cause a lot of damage to the property and also a lot of damage to the human life. Not only to the building members, to the surrounding structures also, it will affect a very large manner, isn't it? That's why if you want to design any structure or else like some construction equipments, So for every type of soil, we don't use the same construction equipment. Depending upon the soil, our type of construction is also different. Corresponding to the type of construction, we have to use different type of instruments. So if we study the properties of the soil well enough, then depending on that, we have to decide which type of equipments we need for the construction projects. Okay. So this is why we have to investigate the subsoil or soil properties beneath the ground surface. Now, after studying, that means after collecting the soil from the subsurface, what we are going to study? We are going to study about the, here I will write down some points. Those may be asked for the 1 mark questions. Okay. Now, normally, we will, why we have to study the subsoil? Because we will study first what is the type of soil, whether it is a gravel soil, whether it is a sand, whether it is a silt soil, whether it is a clay soil. That means depending upon the different type of soil, they prohibit the different properties. And also, we have to find out the what is the depth of foundation. That means up to how much depth we have to construct. Depth of foundation required. Similarly, we have to depend upon the soil. If we explore it, we can estimate the bearing capacity. That means after identifying the type of the soil, we will measure the properties of the soil. What I'll say is the engineering properties. That we will see in the coming videos. What are those and all? Based on these engineering properties, and also every type of soil will be represented by using the strength of the soil is represented by two parameters. One is shear strength and another one is the angle of friction, C and phi. So if we know C and phi values, based on that, we can estimate the bearing capacity. So depending upon the bearing capacity, we can able to say whether the foundation can withstand this structure load or not. And also we will find out, depending upon the load acting on the soil, we can find out what is the maximum settlement that can occur. And also we will find out the differential settlement also. Suppose if your properties of the soil is not uniform, then what will happen? Different settlement will not be the same. So in that cases, if differential settlement is too large, then your entire structure may tilt. It may cause cracks and sometimes may failure also. And also we will estimate groundwater table level. So initially we will see what is the groundwater table level, and also we will see in future will there be any rise in the groundwater table or can decrease in the groundwater table level. If it is decreased, then we don't have any problem coming to the structural stability. But if your groundwater table increases, then your bearing capacity will decrease drastically. Near to 50% of the bearing capacity will decrease. So that we'll discuss in the bearing capacity chapter. So if your groundwater table rises, then if your 50% of the capacity decreases, means that what happens? Your entire structure may due to collapse. So that's why at the present we have to locate where is the groundwater table, and also in future we have to decide what is the probability and up to how much level the groundwater table may increase. Depending on that, we may estimate the bearing capacity. And also, suppose if you are constructing any retaining walls. So as we have already discussed in earth pressure theories, if there is any retaining wall, we have to design it for the lateral earth pressure. So depending upon the depth of the retaining wall, we will estimate the what is the lateral earth pressure that is acting on the soil. And also, as I have discussed, we have to decide suitable construction equipment. Suitable construction equipment. Once again, I am saying if it is a small residential building, we don't need to study about soil properties much. But if we want to design a very big structure, very big important structure, then it is obvious we have to plan it accordingly such that it will be economical way. So suitable construction equipment also you have to design. And also we have to study about the safety of the existing structures nearby. Safety of the existing structures nearby. So suppose let us say here there is already one building constructed structure. Here also there is already constructed another building. If you want to construct any building or any structure in between, suppose if your offset length is very very less, then first what you will do, you will excavate this whole type of soil, and then as this offset is very very small, if you want to construct anything here, then this construction may impact the safety of the structures nearby. So depending on the, so if you analyze the properties, from that we will study how much impact will be there on the existing structures. Depending on that, our construction methodology will be different, such that it won't cause any problem to the nearby structure. So these are the some important points are required for the prior construction of a structure. So if you want to identify these type, then it is obvious that we have to study the properties of the soils underneath the ground surface. So that's why before the construction of any important project, it is mandatory or it is must and should that we have to study about the soils. Okay. In the next videos, we will see what are the stages in subsoil investigation. Thank you.